I'm Candy Randolph. I'm a midlife blogger and a woman in my 60s. You know, a couple of years ago I wrote a post about tips, 8 essential tips to staying healthy as we age. And I thought it was time to revisit those and see, you know, how I've been doing the last couple of years. And I have to say, as I look through my list here, that I still think they're essential. I still think they're invaluable. And if you decide to put these into practice on a day-to-day basis, I really do think they are a strong and firm foundation for a healthy lifestyle. So let's talk about what they are. Number one, and these aren't necessarily in the order of importance or prioritized. I think each one is important, so I did want to mention that too. The first tip I have is to keep your attitude on a positive note, in a positive direction. You know, the old adage is your glass half empty or half full. Well, I'm a half full kind of a girl, and I really do believe that keeping a positive outlook, a positive momentum, does help me to kind of keep stress under control, really be happier and a little bit more peaceful in my life. So that is something that might come somewhat naturally to me in terms of my makeup, my personality, but I do very much look at things from what is good about a situation rather than what is a negative. The second tip I have for you, and this is something that I do live as much as possible every single day, and that is moderation in everything. When it comes to how I eat, the kind of activities I participate in, how much I drink, whether it's, well, I have 2 vices, one is coffee and one is white wine. So I, do my best to keep both of those really moderate. I could go without a glass of wine and, won't cry too much, but please don't take away my coffee because I will not be happy. So, I'm kind of laughing about it, but really, moderation in how I spend my time, what I choose to do, and how my day is allocated. Try and just be moderate in my choices and the emphasis of my time. The third, and this is really, extremely important for women, for everyone, but women especially as we get older, and that is the physical activity that's part of our life. If you read my blog, Inspire My Style, you know that I talk a lot about exercise, working out, and the importance of what I call the big 3, and that is aerobic exercise, strength training, along with a healthy diet. Our bodies are aging. We know that. We can see them changing, kind of morphing. We've got the belly fat going. Our skin is starting to sag. We have wrinkles. So many things are happening to us, and that's a natural part of our life. We're not going to take that away, at least from my perspective, on aging naturally, but by keeping physically active, exercising, working out, functional fitness, strength training, those are all avenues for us to also live a healthy life, look better, look more youthful, maintain more of our energy. So that is something that's high on my priority list for sure. Number 4 is to live in the present. And what I mean about that is that we have today. My late husband, my soulmate, the love of my life, he used to say, we are not promised tomorrow. And that is true. We are not promised tomorrow. We have today. We have right now. So when I find myself going back in my head into the past, well, why did this happen? I could have done this. I should have done that. I would have been a better wife or mother if I had done these things. That solves nothing. It goes nowhere. All it does is make me feel bad. The other thing that I try very hard not to do is to worry about the future. Do I want to plan for it? Of course. Am I concerned that I'm, making the right decisions and I'm on the right path? Well, sure. But there's a difference between planning for the future, wanting to make sure that I'm making good decisions, and worrying about things that haven't happened yet. So again, it's that balance of being grateful for today and living in today. Because you know what? These minutes, hours, days that go by, we never get them back. I also believe that as much as we can, letting go or not letting us become addicted to harmful habits certainly will lead us along a path of healthy living. Now, what can come to mind are things like, smoking and excessive drinking, maybe even eating. If eating is an obsession with you, or gambling, or watching certain kinds of movies, or just habits that are not doing you any good. My philosophy is to reject them. Excuse me. Do not let them into my life as much as I can. Honestly, my biggest addiction, sugar. I like my sweets. I do. Are they going to kill me? Probably not if I keep them in moderation and don't, go overboard, but they're not helping me any. So, give it some honest thought and see really where there are areas in your life that you could literally become addicted to, or maybe you are addicted to, and what can you do about them? The next tip I have, and this can be a tough one too. I'm heading towards my 65th birthday really within a few weeks. Actually, in about a month. And it can be tough to say, embrace the stage of life that you're in. I mean, it's easy to say it, but it can be tougher to live it every day. When I look in the mirror and I see the wrinkles, and I see my body changing, and I see how on the outside I'm not physically like I was in the past. So to embrace that and say, yes, I am beautiful, and I am where I should be today, and I'm a beautiful person inside and out. That is something I work at, because I can be very critical of myself. So it takes some effort, but embracing where I'm at in my life in my 60s, spending time with my grandchildren, my children. I have one parent still with me. Those are all things that I'm working very hard to remember, to be grateful for, and embrace them, and not look at this stage of life in terms of what I'm losing or what I don't have anymore. I look at it from what I do have. The next tip is, again, it sounds pretty simple. If you're married, if you have a partner, a spouse, love them. Love your family. I talk to people, and I know people who say, well, I don't talk to my sister anymore because we had a fight 10 years ago. My husband and I, we live in the same house but on different floors. We don't speak to each other. I haven't talked to my son in 2 years. We don't get along. Why? You only have one life. You only have one family. You never know what a day is going to bring. Remember that tip earlier on, we're not promised tomorrow? You don't know what a day is going to bring. So why put all that energy into feeling negatively? Because it does take energy. It takes energy to be angry. It takes energy to hold a grudge. It takes energy to say and think about, well, this is what I'm going to say to them next time I see them, or I'm going to send them a text or an email and tell them exactly what I think. That all takes energy. Why not put that energy into loving them? You don't have to love everything they do, but accept them. Accept them for where they are in their life, just like you accept yourself for where you are in your life. And then finally, and I did touch upon this earlier, let go of the past. The past is in the past. You can't bring it back. You can't change it. No matter how much you think about it, ponder over it, cry yourself to sleep about it, it's not going to change. So, forward thinking, grateful for where you are today, loving yourself, accepting yourself, and taking the very best care of yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit. Those are my tips, my essential tips for happy and healthy living. Thank you.